Hi, this is Realistic Intentionality. I am Dylan, your humble host for today, and this is the podcast where we explore ideas for real people to create the life that you were made to exist for. I welcome thee, Dani King.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi. Those were some of the words that I say thrown together in some order. Hi.
Well, you should have seen the last few words I tried to throw together. Anyways, welcome.
Yes.
Are we going with that?
Thank you. Yeah, we
We
can.
going with it?
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thanks for coming on to my podcast.
Your podcast, yeah, that you worked so hard to create.
Yes. Well, so I am the host for today, and I am interviewing Dani. Welcome.
Yes.
You have had the pod for a year now, going over a year.
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah,
As
blah.
of this premiere date, I've been launched for a year.
How does it feel? Had been doing this for a year. How? Any starting statements that you would like to begin with?
Any opening statements
Opening
for the
statements.
defendant? Yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's been crazy. That's been a year. I did do a hiatus, so it's not like I've been steady uploading for a year, but I've been committed to the platform for a year, and I was a compulsive quitter for so much of my life that being able to say, like, okay, I have stayed on this platform and at least had the intention to continue with it for a year does speak volumes for like my personal development. And
That
like,
has been awesome to watch.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've been really happy to be doing it,
Yeah,
even
'cause-
though like with the hiatus and stuff, and I've definitely had up and downs, but
Yeah, well, it works for you. You do it like by seasons now. You've kind of evolved into doing seasons with it.
yeah, kind of. I basically did the season thing because I knew I needed a break. I was getting burnout. I knew that I was doing it every week. It was a weekly upload, and doing a guest podcast that is weekly was just so difficult. Trying to find guests, trying to schedule them, the pressure I would feel when it would be close to the like air date, which I can't even remember if it was like Tuesdays or Fridays. Like I don't even remember what the original day was that I was doing it, but the pressure I would have when I wouldn't have anyone or any episode ready was so intense. And also if like technical difficulties for the episode, because it's a guest pod, it's not like, oh, I can just re-record this. So difficult. So I was really burnt out, really discouraged, and I knew I had to do something. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna season finale, right? Season done, so I can breathe and like try to collect my thoughts of like, okay, how am I actually gonna move forward with this? What am I gonna do? How am I gonna prevent this burnout and this like dread of like needing to book a guest and upload every single week?
Did you ever think about quitting in those moments?
Oh, well, yeah.
Like
I
just
mean,
giving
I
up?
still think about quitting, like, all the time, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, podcasts weren't a thing I grew up with, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not like it's been a lifelong dream, and in fact, like, I more fall into, like, I like doing YouTube videos, even though that's not what I actually am doing. Like, I definitely am a podcaster rather than a YouTuber. I would love to kind of bridge that gap because YouTube I've been passionate with since it came out, like in 2006, 2007.
Right.
But I knew I wanted to create videos, and I had the podcast equipment because I had gotten it for you, my lovely partner, who wants to do podcasts. And naturally, I decided to just snake it. Uh,
You put it to good use.
yeah, it was just sitting here. So I did. I was like, I'm just gonna do this podcast because it is kind of, I can do video format with it. I have things to share. I want to highlight people and like intentional living and stuff, but not just intentional living the way that it's like trended as. And so because it wasn't necessarily a lifelong dream, I still have these moments where I'm like, why am I even doing podcasts? Like, why am I even producing them? I don't listen to podcasts. I'm actually, a goal for this year, 2026, Happy New Year's, everybody, is to start listening to more podcasts.
Yeah, mine's to listen to a little less.
Yeah. So yeah, see, I need to produce less, listen more, and you need to listen less, produce more.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like funny I say that because I may or may not be producing yet another podcast very soon, which we can get into at some point, but not quite yet. But it's something I still think about where I'm like, is this even what I want to do? But I do genuinely love it. I love the positive effect that it has had on me, and
Yeah.
it's luckily now after a year, I've had so many months of doing this work that it's now become automated.
Right.
I don't think about it too much. I can sit down and edit a podcast and get it out. I'm doing 2 podcasts for this platform, 2 podcasts for the other podcasts that I produce. So right now I'm like automating 4 to 5 podcasts.
Yeah, you seem pretty dialed in with the editing. We
Yeah.
were sitting down working on my intro the other day, and it was pretty impressive how like dialed in you are with the editing,
Right.
with the editing program.
Well, I used to edit our vlogs back in 2020. Now we just used InShot on the phone. I didn't even use a computer for editing. So I always had that kind of sense of like, okay, you can cut this, you can cut that. Like, you can extract audio and you can add like whatever to the screen. I luckily always had a sense of that. Podcasts are definitely tougher on the more like audio end of things, like
Right.
the actual, I would say, like the pre-production,
Mm.
post-production, editing, easy. Like, I can do that pretty much with my eyes closed. It's time consuming and tedious. Like, I definitely on editing days I feel rough and run down by the end of it, but I can do it. The trying to like figure out microphones, the software, and like trying to set up the cameras, making sure the cameras don't die, and like I've been having an ongoing issue. I realized one of my cameras was recording at 24 frames per second while my other one was recording at 30 frames per second.
No.
And so I told you how I had mentioned this issue that my camera B would always get out of sync.
Uh-huh.
And I'd always have to like wedge it, and I was like confused, and it was because it was recording
How does
six
that even work?
it's a setting on the cameras. And so it's like, even to this very day, I'm like still trying to fine tune and like actually understand the equipment I'm using and actually understand how to do it.
Right.
And like, you even witnessed it. We had got some equipment in the mail today, and we're actually returning it because
Yeah, we spent 2 hours trying to learn how to use it, all the while it's got like shortages in the electrical probably.
yeah,
There's something weird with
it was definitely a steep learn. Like, it was a full soundboard, which here my soundboard's very simple, the one we're using currently. But I do hope to upgrade and kind of like make it a little bigger in scale.
Right.
But it's tough because then you get these systems and you have to try to learn them. You got to read the manual, you got to watch the videos, you got to play with it, toy with it. And then if you find out hours later, like, oh, there's something wrong with it, or even these mics, where it's like, these mics, we've had them for like 2 years. I can hear that there's starting to be some like technical issues.
Yeah.
It's like you have to replace it. There's a lot of equipment and like the side of audio engineering that I'm just like not strong in whatsoever. And really trying to hone in on that is tough, dude.
Right.
So
right.
tough.
Just kind of figuring it out as you go.
Yeah. And just like praying. Literally, we just had to pause to like fix the technical issue that I've been having with my mics. But yeah, so I use my old iPhone for 4K 30 frames per second. I think that's an iPhone 10, I believe, or like 10S or whatever the heck it was called. I use that for my camera B, my close-ups. I use right now Movo podcasting condenser mics, which I think I'm going to switch to dynamic mics and a different brand. And I record on WavePad Audio Editor by NCH Software. It's free, and it was very easy to just pick up and go. I have had some temperamental issues with it. Probably not going to be my long-term program. And then I use CapCut and a little bit of InShot for my editing.
Nice.
Yeah, and Ibis Pro for like my promotional things and like my Instagram photos and stuff.
Yeah. I was just asking because I think your video, like how you've been able to do it with the lighting and the way you set everything up, like I feel like the quality of your videos look awesome.
Thank you.
That's why I asked. I wasn't sure if you had shared that you just do it off of a cell phone and don't have like professional grade like equipment, but I think the videos look awesome.
Yeah, so I do have a big like is it DCLR? I have a big camera that I have used for my YouTube videos to kind of give it that more cinematic
right.
depth
Yeah, those
and
look
stuff.
good too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I find that they go out like it has autofocus because I don't have someone behind the camera. Like I have to just set it up and trust that it's doing its thing.
Right.
And I notice the autofocus goes in and out on that a lot. So I kind of have been relying on phones because they just have the wide shot of like everything is in focus pretty much.
Right.
So I just like would rather do that where I know I'm not, for most likely I have had moments where it does look like it might struggle for a bit, but for the most part everything stays in focus. I don't want to go out of focus when a guest is talking about something very vulnerable or like something very important.
Right.
So you kind of have to like
go with the safer, not quite as good, but
right. Like even if I would switch to a camera, like a larger camera, I would still probably set up an iPhone as a backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, backing up would be, like I dream of a day where I have a backup camera and a backup like mic or like audio. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like lavalier mics or something.
Yeah. Well, what kind of spiritual lessons do you feel that you've gained or acquired over this past year on this journey? How have you grown? How has it strengthened you?
Yeah, that's a lot. I guess for me, as I mentioned, my personal development, being a perpetual quitter.
Yeah.
Sticking to something, seeing through with the work, seeing through with the discipline and the vision to the point that it becomes a habit has been a very encouraging experience, because I always felt like someone that just like could never finish anything or could never accomplish anything. So having the belief in this idea and the belief in myself enough to actually keep doing it, even though sometimes I want to quit, even though equipment is annoying, guests blow me off, and sometimes I don't have episodes, and
you're a stay-at-home mom, and
right,
yeah,
it's just tough. And like, the amount of like, it's embarrassing to put yourself out there. Like, it's embarrassing to say, I have a podcast, you should check it out, knowing they're going to click it and it has 7 views.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's embarrassing to say you're going to upload once a week, and then like 2 weeks later, you're like, actually, I'm going to upload every other week. And then like 3 months later, you're like, actually, I'm going to upload once a month, starting like 4 months from now.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like,
I know what you mean. I've announced doing a podcast a few times myself.
Yeah, mostly on this one too. Yeah. Like every time you're on.
Hey, I got an intro made, guys. I got an intro made.
Yeah.
Thank you, babe.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's embarrassing to put yourself out there. And so much of my life, I feel like a lot of the fear of like the cringiness and the fear of failure, and also my general like perfectionism, would stop me from even starting things, but especially stop me from finishing. And to be able to like shift now where I am actively creating and I'm accepting the cringiness of it, and I'm trying to show it in a very like vulnerable and transparent way, because that's ultimately what this platform is. Like, as much as I have a lot of guests and I highlight them, if anyone watches my solo specials or watches my YouTube or even goes to the long lost relics of the blog posts, this whole platform was formed on my own experimental mindfulness practice. Realistic intentionality is actually a practice that I have like an 18-page guide to, where it's like you you set an intention and you recognize your strengths and your weaknesses and you fine tune the process as you go. And so, and I said that this podcast was actually the incarnation of that practice.
Right. It's been a steady evolving thing.
Right. And so that is why I'm fine tuning it and I am transparent about it.
Because you're finding out what works like with this stuff, but you're also finding out what works for yourself. And
right.
Yeah, what like you can handle, what maybe you're not feeling, and things that you do like more.
Right, and like what's more like manageable in my life, and like what kind of things I'm better at, what kind of things work with algorithms more.
What works with my schedule.
Right, it's like all
river schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, so I had to adjust it, and so even though it is embarrassing and cringy, and it may not be what they say, you know, with content creation, they're always like, oh, consistency is key, you gotta do this, gotta do that. It's like, just show up and fine tune to what's actually gonna make you stay. It doesn't matter about being on time every time, it's about being there every time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I would rather show up less often but know I'm gonna show up than be showing up all the time and disappear forever.
Right.
And so when it comes to like what kind of spiritual lessons I've learned and stuff like that, just that in itself, the discipline, the fine tuning, that just showing up, like all you have to do is show up. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be refined. It doesn't need to be the format it's going to be forever. You just need to, like, literally, I had a blog at the beginning, written blog, stopped, like didn't do that. I barely post on like the media pages now, but the thing is, it's here. I put out episodes. I'm still trying. I'm still booking. I'm doing it, and I'm releasing the expectations that it has to be perfect from the fucking rip. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that was a big, like all those, just within my own workflow, my own creativity, my own personal disciplines were big spiritual lessons. And then also externally of just like interviewing people and getting out of my comfort zone. Like most of my guests, like I didn't know before the podcast. They came into my house as a stranger and I was like, I could have had the worst day. I could have had cramps. A lot of my first season, I had excruciating hearing loss because my
like a double ear infection or something.
Yeah, I had a double ear infection, and then
one exploded or something like that, right?
Yeah, it erupted my eardrum, and so I couldn't. I was going into podcasts with people I didn't know, knowing that I could barely hear them. Like, I still did it. I was like, I'm going to do this, and I've had, you know, it was so scary for me because I kind of had social anxiety growing up, and then I developed severe social anxiety when I had that traumatic experience that really messed up my OCD combined with anxiety, where I was having obsessive compulsive anxiety and like anxious thoughts and intrusive thoughts and stuff, and I didn't leave the house for like almost a year, and
longer maybe.
And so I developed severe social anxiety through that experience. And so to go from that to then, okay, now I have strangers coming into my house and I am committing to having to sit down with them for an hour and like make a conversation happen.
Right.
And like, you know, some guests love to yap, other guests don't quite know where to start with things. And it's like you have to meet them where they're at, and you have to like get the comfortability on camera and like really like the pure like social aspect of it has really allowed me to just deepen my empathy and also deepen my ability to conversate with just about anyone. And being able to show interest and be able to build a real nourishing conversation, even if they want to give me nothing or if they're giving me everything. Like, it has allowed me to navigate people and conversations and connection in a way that's like so invaluable, and I don't think it will ever go away. Like,
I've seen it in you, like definitely over the probably the past 2 years, but definitely the past year since you've been doing this, you have like blossomed as a human. And just you getting out of your comfort zone, and how you say you were like, I've watched it for years. I've been with you for a long time now, and you were like a perpetual starter of things, and then just kind of didn't follow through with it. And like, to watch you over this past year, like, continue to show up, and then do another podcast, and just continuously do it. It's been amazing to see, and just how you have kind of blossomed socially, and like from where you, like, when you talked about how you didn't leave the house, like, to now is like a completely different person.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's amazing to have had a front row seat to see.
Yeah, and I had talked about that on episode 7, which was an episode that I had to record by myself because my guest was a no-call, no-show. Like, literally, she didn't tell me she wasn't coming, and she just didn't show up. And I was like calling her, and she didn't respond until 45 minutes after she was supposed to get here. And so I sat down and I talked about how I had to heal a lot of my obsessive compulsive thinking and my anxieties with like intention and really like mindful living. And that experience helped give me the insights that were really the foundation for realistic intentionality as a practice of, like, you set an intention and you try to imbue that intention in everything you do. It's like, let's say, my intention is I want to become a podcaster that's charting somehow this year, which that's not necessarily my goal, although my goal is to really hone in on more of the SEO, like, algorithmic side of things. That is something I really want to dive into this year. But let's say that's my intention, right? Even if I'm just like scrubbing my toilet, I can say I'm scrubbing my toilet so that my house is clean, so that if I meet someone on the street who I want to interview today, I feel comfortable doing it.
Right.
And it's like, even though it might not seem relevant or connected,
connect the dots.
Make that connection so that you're holding on to that intention. You're reminding yourself of that. You're retraining your mind and your core beliefs into believing, like, I'm a podcaster. Everything I do is I'm doing as a podcaster.
Right. Like the version of me who is a podcaster does these things.
The identity of it. And, and get done what you need to get done. And it's like, we all have obligations. We all have expectations. And, like, who am I kidding? Like, I'm not going to say that wiping my kid's ass is what a podcaster does. But that's what me as a podcaster does. You know what I mean? Like, that's...
But not now, because he's wiping his own ass, and we don't wipe his ass no more.
Yeah.
No matter how many times a week he asked.
Right. Like, only on occasion if there's, like, a major blowout in a restaurant with no wipes. Like, yes, but, like, still, it's like, I'm going to do what I need to do because I need to chase my dream. I need to live the life that I exist for.
So obviously you've gotten a lot out of this spiritually. What is something unexpected that you've gotten out of podcasting?
I mean, I definitely didn't expect for someone to have asked me to help produce and co-host their podcast so quickly.
Yeah.
So that was cool. That was unexpected. But it makes sense. It's like the pipeline. You start producing. You produce and host your own podcast if someone wants to hop on or bring you on theirs. Like, it's a normal pipeline. So I wouldn't say that's like super unexpected. It just happened sooner than I thought.
Right.
This is like an unexpected thing that I learned about. I learned that you are in the top 1% of podcasters if you have more than 5 episodes.
Wow.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I was listening to some sort of video or podcast or whatever, and they said like if you are even past episode 5, you need to give yourself a huge like round of applause because yeah, most people will quit before they hit episode 5, like millions of podcasts. So that was an unexpected win that I took.
Yeah.
As for things that like unexpectedly happen, I would just say like I guess it's always unexpected when I get recognized because my analytics are small, and that did happen once.
Mm-hmm.
And then also,
and then didn't the person come onto your podcast?
yeah. Shout out Kobe. Yeah, and then like it's also unexpected when someone tells me they like printed out my guide or something. It's always, you know what? It is always unexpected when someone talks to me about an episode.
Yeah.
And it always feels good. Like I can't even describe the feeling when someone organically, like where you don't have to ask them like, hey, please watch this episode or please watch this, when they just like hit you up and go like, holy crap, like I love that episode, or like they just like hit you up. Like my friend Sean, shout out Sean, he'll like hit me, he'll live text me when he's watching one, so he'll be like, I didn't know you were Jewish, or like, oh my god, who would spend that much on a Spider-Man costume, you know what I mean? And like it always does me so good when it's like, oh man, like not only are they like helping me by like supporting my content, but they're actually like enjoying it enough to like take a moment to like let me know about it
and engage with it.
Yeah, and it's like you want to think that you don't do stuff for recognition, but when it is a platform that's meant to help people, and like the reality is like,
you don't make it for people not to see it or not to engage with it.
Well, also it's like, do I want to like scrub my house top to bottom, set up all this equipment and have the jitters and try to sit down and have conversations with people in my house and like do all that work? Like, no, not necessarily, but I do it because I want to put out something good in the world. I want to put out content that people can walk away from and feel seen, even if it's not them that was on the episode, but just someone like them. Right. Like you see so much of the same type of people on like social media and on TV and stuff. To be able to highlight people of all different walks of life and diversity, and people who like, I've had so many guests that tell me that like they're like, why do you want to have me on? Like, I don't have followers. Like, I'm not the kind of person that comes on a pod. And it's like, no, just please, like, come. Like, who's supposed to be on a podcast?
Right.
It's like everyone has a voice. Everyone deserves to be heard. So I do it for the goodness of wanting to highlight the diversity and everyone's own intention in the life that they exist for, you know? And so to be able to put in my work and like the selfless acts that I do to try to create this content, and then for it to actually be received and acknowledged, is really like, you know, you want to say that you expect it to happen, like, oh, I expect to blow up, I expect to go viral, I expect to go easy. But then when you're actually in the throes of it and you're getting like 5 views, 20 views, maybe 75, maybe I think one episode might have 100 and something views, you know, where it's like, okay, like it doesn't seem like a lot when you see the analytics of like videos and content online, but then you're like, holy shit, like 20 people listened to me for an hour.
Right.
Willingly, like in their free time because they wanted to. And then, you know, the 1% of them that reach out and tell me or like it or share it or whatever. It's like that. It's always unexpected and it's always so appreciated.
Yeah, it almost means more like before you blow up than after. Like it's almost like more like, you know, it hits close to home. Like
we've went viral before, but it never felt good. Like I went viral for how crappy my car was. I went viral for how our son looked. I kind of like had not super viral, but like 5 figures for like joking about where's the seeds in pineapple. Like I've gotten traction online for things that don't feel good. And so to be working on something that's like, if I do gain traction, I know I'm going to feel good. It's going to be nice. And like, but I can't speak on it cuz it hasn't quite happened yet, but I can imagine it's going to feel good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So what would you say are some of your strengths and weaknesses?
Weaknesses, which we kind of touched upon earlier, definitely the more equipment, audio engineering side of things. I've had a few episodes where one episode that the mics weren't plugged in at all, which that
Oh,
sucked.
I remember that.
That
was rough.
that was my release one. So that was the one I was releasing. Like it was the January 11th upload because I wanted to have a few episodes backlogged. Whoa, which that was so rough. And then I asked, someone to help me with the audio, and I ended up paying an engineer, and he like did a good job, but just wasn't like to the quality as if the mics were actually plugged in. Obviously, like you can't create a miracle.
Right, because it like did it record on your phone?
It recorded
or
on
computer?
the Mac, yeah.
Right.
And so that was tough. And then I've had another one where I had a guest fine tune their mic, because they saw it and they were like, "Oh, it seems a little low or a little high or something," and then they blasted it out or something. I don't know what the heck happened. And it was just like, oh. And so definitely a weakness is that having to pay someone to fix that first episode that happened, that sucked. That sucked because I paid $75 and I can't say I'm 100% happy with how it turned out. And then the second episode that happened, I used AI. I used Adobe Podcast AI to boost it, and it improved the quality very well actually, but it also cut out laughing. Yeah, it cut out laughing. So
that's weird.
It did kind of, it was weird. So I think it like it's AI. So I think
it took it as dead space or something.
It took genuine human feeling and laughter and expression.
That's not important. Get that out of here.
And been like, oh, what are these weird spikes and sound that don't belong in the beautiful orchestra of words? Yeah. So that was, but it did work and it was free. So, like,
hey.
Probably, I would probably use it again if I had to. Luckily, the episode was, and this actually ties into something I know that we wanted to talk about. One of my prouder moments in podcasting was when I had a guest just absolutely talk about just the depths of his situation with depression and his involvement with a friend of ours who unfortunately was brutally murdered. And it was a very intense, very hard episode. And that was the episode that the audio went out of. And so, the laughter of the other parts getting cut out, to me, it didn't seem that bad because it was a heavier episode.
Right.
But I was really proud of how I handled navigating those conversations, because I did not know all that stuff was going to be coming up in the podcast. So it was like, handling that kind of heavy stuff in the episode. I'm really proud of that. And so, with my weakness being more of the technological side of it, that episode showed that, but it also showed my strength that I would say is just being able to hold a conversation with anyone and being able to meet people where they're at with whatever they decide to bring.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I agree with you there. You definitely have a strength of holding space for people, when some dark things are coming up, or people who have been through, heavy circumstances. You're able to, meet them there and be there with them in it.
Yeah. Like, there are times, like, trust me, there's been podcasts where I'm like, oh man, like I interrupted them there when I shouldn't have, or like I changed the subject when I shouldn't have. Like there was one where we were, I believe a guest was about to start talking about police brutality, and I didn't mean to. Like conversation happens naturally, so I like acknowledged it, but then we kept the conversation rolling, and I kind of wish I would have stuck on that, because as someone that, you know, I believe in activism, I believe in advocacy, and there's some things, especially when it comes to like racial injustices, that I don't feel like I should talk about. But if I do have a platform, I feel like I should take the opportunity when it comes to, like, if I see this person wants to speak on this, like give them that platform. And unfortunately, it's like it's just always a chill time. Like all my guests always like come in very nervous, and then they're like, oh, like that was just chilling, we were just hanging out. So the conversation does feel very natural and it flows. I do edit, but I don't edit crazy. You know, I don't stop them in the middle and be like, hey, you want to say that again clean, or you want to do that. I let the guests do what they want to do, and we have our own little, you know, our little tit for tat going on.
Right.
But there have been moments where I'm like in editing and I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have had the kind of foresight to have taken a breather on that and like kind of let that have more air and more space on it.
Right.
So, you know, it's like there's always things to be improved upon. I'm trying to curse less. I think I've only dropped the F-bomb once.
Yeah, you have, you know, now that you bring it up, yeah, there's some progress being made there for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying. That's like with my other podcast, Two Mamas No Manual with Leah.
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask you about that. You wanna give a little brief summary about that and how that's been?
Yeah. So again, I got asked to help produce Leah Whiteside's podcast. Now she was actually a guest in season 1. She might have been like episode 3 or 4, and she ended up reaching out to me saying that she wanted to start her own podcast and that she would love for me to co-host and produce it. And so I've been doing that, and that's called Two Mamas No Manual. It was her baby, her idea. I cannot emphasize that enough. I did not have the premise. She wants to do realistic, honest, unfiltered motherhood and entrepreneurship. So we have mothers, we have fathers, we have business owners. It is both guest and also just her and I, which is really fun, because I feel like I don't dive into motherhood as often as I would like to, honestly. Like I have a lot to say about being a mother, and you know, it is such a fulfilling and enriching part of my life. Like,
You're great at it too.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so, you know, it was really exciting to be brought on a project that I could talk about something that just doesn't get touched upon on this podcast as often. So that's Two Mamas No Manual. We upload every other Tuesday. I think it's Monday.
So every other week.
Yeah, every other week. I had recommended that. Yeah. Luckily, it's like, even though it's her baby, she kind of does I pretty much let her do a lot of the managing side of things, and I do more of just like the equipment and the editing side. Of course, the side that I'm like not that great at. But you know, it's always, I feel like that's always the case. It's like the universe wants you to sharpen that blade.
Yeah.
So I mostly let her handle things, but luckily there are times where I'm like, hey babe, like let's do this or let's do that. And one of them was, we should upload once every other week because it's going to be a lot if we try. And then also, you know, I was like, hey, let's not commit to being a guest podcast. Like, we can have guests, but let's also just do like episodes with just us.
Yeah.
And yeah, luckily she's super receptive, and we work really well together. So it's like, you know, she recognizes that I'm help nourishing her baby. Because I tell her, I'm like, this is your idea. This is your baby. You can take this wherever you want. I'm here to facilitate. So I do like remind her of that. And then in that, she does take it almost not as like a mentorship. I mean, it's definitely a partnership, but she does definitely take my advice and my thoughts on things because I have been doing the podcast. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really grateful for that. I'm really grateful to be in an opportunity to be in a partnership and I also learned things from her, you know, because she's an incredible entrepreneur and, you know, business owner, and she's, you know, her daughter's a little older than River. She's been a mother longer, and she's really great with like the social media and the marketing side of things. So to be able to learn from her and then also be able to teach her things, it's been really rewarding. And I'm very grateful that I'm like really growing in this podcasting world, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, yeah,
How many what is the ratio of guest podcasts versus episodes with just the two of y'all at the moment?
probably 50-50 right now.
What do you prefer? What do you like? What do you enjoy the most?
And this is going to sound brutal saying this on this podcast because this is a guest podcast, but I will always prefer non-guest podcasts.
Yeah.
Always, just because coordinating guests.
A little less stress.
Yeah, coordinating guests is brutal. So tough trying to make schedules work. And then also the pressure of, like, again, if equipment does its thing, Mercury is in retrograde, mics go out, cameras go out, it is very difficult to look at someone and be like, hey, would you want to re-record this? Or like if the edit doesn't come out that great because of some technological thing and you're just like, hopefully they're okay with this episode seeming less of quality than the other ones. And it's like,
Right.
there's just so much pressure to like to hold and uphold standards for people and also trying to make it work. And I will just always prefer a podcast that just has set hosts.
Mm-hmm.
Or like just you and like read like podcasts where it's like, oh, someone just reads true crime.
Mm-hmm.
Or like document like government files or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's the way to do it. You don't have to rely, you don't have to coordinate, you can just sit down.
Do you think you would ever do you a podcast where you are the sole, like every season, every episode is just you solo go in it?
Would it be defined as a podcast? I don't know, but like I like YouTube videos.
You would kind of go in that direction
right?
with it, yeah.
Like whether I would upload the audio to podcasts or to like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, who knows?
Gotcha.
But I would. I mean, I like to do YouTube videos on my own, and again, like I really like less bullshit, and like I'm just gonna be honest, like
right. Well, it's less pressure if something screws up and it's just you, then whatever.
Right.
Or if it's you and a friend, that you do it with every week, whatever. But
and so part of me, like when people ask me like about podcasts and stuff, and like, oh, like what do you recommend and stuff, like one of the top things is like don't rely on it being a guest podcast. Like if you want to have guests, cool, awesome, do it, but do not rely on it being a guest podcast. Especially if you're doing like once a week, like that's going to be very tough on you. People are going to bail. People do it. They make it work, and kudos to them. They're better than me. But for me, I'm all about realistic, intentional living. And I think it's unrealistic to expect to be able to sit down with someone every week. If you batch record, that might be a different story. If you do seasons, whatever.
Yeah.
But my number one advice, the one thing that I wish I would have known when I started was like, do not rely on it being a full guest podcast. Be flexible, figure out a format that you can play around with. And, I'm very grateful that being an intentional living podcast, intentions shift and change and stuff. So luckily it is malleable. Now, like, it's like, at least I didn't pick a niche. Like, okay, this is a vegan cooking podcast. And then it's like, hey, guess what? I eat eggs. Like, you know what I mean? Set yourself up for success by, like, picking something that you can work with no matter what season of life you're in. And make sure that the formatting is flexible, that you don't paint yourself in a corner.
Good. That was kind of some good advice, but my next question was going to be, what would your advice be for anyone starting or thinking about starting a podcast of their own?
Right.
So besides all the good advice you just gave?
Right.
Anything besides that?
Yeah. Figure out, do research on the actual algorithms, the search engine optimization, kind of like how all of the platforms work, how Spotify works, how Apple Podcasts work, how YouTube works. Research that before you even start. Then pick your niche or your topic or whatever going off of that, where you can be discoverable and you actually have knowledge of knowing it. And once you do that, just do it. Like just do it. Don't procrastinate. The more you procrastinate, the more podcasts are coming out that are going to be better than yours in every which way and exactly about what you wanted to do. You got to beat them to it. You got to get it out there, because you're not going to get better until you're actually doing it. You're going to be plateaued. You can learn about you can research, you can learn about that stuff. You can refine, you can do cool logos, you can have all the guests lined up, you can tell people all your podcasts, you can secure all the pages and shit.
You can make a sweet intro.
You can make a sweet intro, but ultimately 99% of the learning comes from doing. And so you are still just an idiot until you upload that first episode. And like, I hate to be brutal about it, but it's true. Like, all of the technological issues, all of the guest coordination issues, all of the scheduling and readjusting my upload schedules and figuring out what platforms work, what platforms didn't, all of that mostly came from actually doing it and running into problems. You're gonna run into problems. Don't think everything's gonna be perfect. If you're thinking you can just plan and execute everything perfect before you even upload and that everything's gonna go smooth sailing, it's not. So it's like, just learn what you can, go into it with realistic expectations, but you need to go into it as soon as possible. You don't want to get held up at the starting line by any means. And I know that's probably brutal for me to be saying directly to you, but
I mean, I feel like that advice is directed at me, and you kind of
Dylan.
you have this wisdom from watching me like struggle and like procrastinate to get going.
No, truly, it was all me. I mean,
Yeah.
I learned that from me because I didn't.
But it's so true, though.
I didn't get held up at the start line. I mean, I did my entire life. Like, I didn't.
You have with other things, but when it came to podcasting, it's like you almost already kind of knew.
I did. I batch recorded a bunch. But yeah, I didn't learn all of my lessons that are like really potent lessons that are helping me move forward and grow are things that I've learned all of these months, not so much that first month of curating and stuff. As for you, it's just like, I think what's nice in like, I'm gonna flip it, I'm gonna spin it for you. What's nice about you dwelling and churning on these ideas for years is that you are pretty damn sure of what you want to do. So that is good. That is good. You want to do like a more open-ended, esoteric, guest-styled one. And that's cool. Like, that's cool that you know that. For me, I like felt passionate about intentional living, and I saved my own life through it. And so I was like, okay, I want to do an intentional living podcast, and I dove right into it. But I didn't do the research of like search engine optimization or stuff. So it's like, my title is hard to pronounce to some people. It's hard to look up. It's hard to type out when you're driving. A lot of my keywords aren't helpful. Like with guests, if I book too many guests that are similar keywords, it makes it tough. There's things that I wish I would have dwelled on more. So I would just say, do your due diligence when you're doing the details, but when it comes to the actual work, get grinding immediately. Like,
yeah,
get recording. Honestly, even start recording like with a working title. Like for you didn't know what the name of your podcast was going to be for a while there. It's like, you can still record podcasts without doing an intro, and then just add the intro later.
Right.
Just dive in, get the conversations going, get the muscles moving so that you can try to get in that flow state and get towards this like automatic, like you have formed a discipline around these actions. You want to get to that sooner. Right. And you don't want to postpone that because that will make it tough. And also, it is a heavy weight to have a good idea that you're not acting on. It's like crippling. So yeah,
Good stuff.
that'd be my main advice. Yeah, is, research what you can, but don't dwell on it. Just get to the work. Definitely
And that's good
don't
advice.
rely
That's
on
good advice
guests.
for anything.
Yeah,
That's good advice for anything that you want to start, not just podcasting.
yeah, yeah. It's there's a lot. There's a lot, but it's been such a good, enriching experience for me, and I don't see myself stopping this at any point.
No, that's good.
No, yeah. I always said when I first launched, I was like, realistic intentionality is like my ride or die.
Mm-hmm.
Like whether it gets me somewhere that then I'm gonna leap off of, it's like a stepping stone. I'm never gonna just like die away with it. It's not gonna fade out. Like I might pass it on to someone if I do decide to go in a different direction, but it's not ever going anywhere. So I'm really happy to be here and happy to be doing it.
It's good to hear.
Plus, it's been nice growing and having a co-host in some episodes.
Yeah, it's been good practice for me because it's I haven't officially launched my podcast, but this has been a good place for me to practice and kind of get my wheels a turning and get out of my comfort zone, because that's just been the main difficulty for me, is just like getting in front of a camera and talking.
Yeah, and again, you don't get more comfortable by thinking about it.
Yeah.
You only get more comfortable by doing it. And it's like, listen, like
I don't know, like I feel like I'll look back on this and say that if you wouldn't have had this and had me coming on here, then my podcast never would have happened.
Yeah.
So what are your intentions moving forward over the coming year? Do you have any plans to do any different things with your platform or your channel? Do you think you'll be getting into any YouTubing, any different style YouTube videos?
Yes.
Besides the normal podcast?
Yeah. So I definitely intend to refine my YouTube channel. I'm going to actually delete some videos that I had uploaded. I think I'm going to take away some of my more personal content of just like things about me, because I do have a personal TikTok, I do have a personal Instagram, and then I have the Realistic Intentionality, the podcasts as like their own platforms. And so my YouTube was kind of like a clash of both Intentionally Dani and Realistic Intentionality, which I don't know is necessarily my intention anymore. So I think I'm going to actually make Realistic Intentionality as the YouTube channel, my podcasts exclusively, and then also more educational kind of self-help ones that are more general to the audience and less specific to me. And I might eventually, if I feel like once I get into the automation of the YouTube videos like I have with the podcast, where it is second nature to churn out YouTube videos, I might then launch a personal YouTube channel where I do more vlogs and like my personal experience type stuff. I definitely intend to have more of a presence on social media. I've been trying to curb my doom scrolling and like my social media dependence and just my general screen time. So it is tough knowing that is a goal, because I haven't been so active on my pages because I have been just trying to be less active on my phone. But it is a goal of mine to make more content and be more present online. So I definitely that's a tough
one to navigate.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big one. It's really gonna be, I basically need to cut out my leisure time online and like really focus. Like if I'm online, I'm posting something, I'm uploading something,
or responding like specifically to channel stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And like engagement, because engagement is so important. And the reality is a lot of my growth is stifled by the fact that these algorithms want to see you addicted to their platform. And they're not going to give you the rewards unless they are feeling like you're also securing their place in your heart and life and headspace. So it's like I need to be scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on YouTube and Facebook, and liking these people's stuff and commenting and blah 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 and doing the engagement for then my stuff to get engaged with. So I definitely need to I need to change social media as being something that I mindlessly witness, and it has to be something that I intentionally do professionally. And that shift is going to be really hard, but that is a big goal of mine this year, as well as, really refining my YouTube channel. Again, just like still hoping to stay on my upload schedule. So, the guest podcast once a month on the 11th, and then the reading Reddit on the 22nd. And I'm hoping my aim is to do YouTube videos on those off weeks that those aren't being uploaded.
And then we've also been playing around with some ideas too, like we do the Reddit stories together, and maybe we could, maybe we'll dive into doing some things other than the Reddit stories this year.
Yeah, we've joked about doing like a debate one.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, which I don't know if that would fit on this platform or not. It would be cool to have it on this platform because I do think,
and not like a serious debate one, but more like, I don't know, how would you even describe?
Yeah, we talked about it being like no context debates, where it's like
draw from a hat.
We are not. Yeah, we draw a topic from the hat, and we have no education on it, and then it's like we just like go back and forth with no context or education, and then like maybe the last 15 minutes like quick learning about it,
Yeah.
Seeing how we feel, because I do think that would be kind of fitting, because part of living intentionally is you need to think with intention, and you need to like contemplate things and have awareness.
Have an open mind, hear people out,
right?
Hear their perspective and why they think the way they think, and
then be receptive to new information and allowing yourself to be wrong. So I do think that'd be funny. It's
our life, so it's like, why don't we make a podcast? It's funny. It's funny when it happens in our life. And I feel like it would make for good content. Yeah. And just be a fun thing to do.
And be like, again, it's a good example to be able to debate and like kind of call yourself out. Like, I don't know anything about this.
Right. Like, good chance for learning.
Right.
Good chance for, yeah.
So we talked about fun. That one. That'd probably be more towards the end of this year, honestly. I can't imagine, with the other things that we're both working on individually, I can't imagine us throwing that in the mix, but it's always a potential, Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that are in the works and are in discussion. We're moving, so
not far though.
No, not far. So it's like we're staying in the general area, but we are just like moving locations. So this whole backdrop's gonna be different. And I've been really like unsure of if I how many more episodes. There's probably gonna be at least 2 more episodes that you guys are going to see in this backdrop, but then it's going to be totally different.
Are you not still trying to finish out season 2?
Yeah, I have 1 episode still pre-recorded that needs to get released. And then I have another follow-up with Josh that I would like to do. And obviously there's this one, but yeah, that would put us to March. So I don't have April's planned. So I don't know.
Okay.
Who knows? Well, I stay flexible. I stay open. That's the thing. If I take another hiatus, I will always be back, and people will know that. But I am hoping to. If I ever take a hiatus, it's only going to be a month, because I do want to do a digital detox 1 month. So. Yeah. I might do that where it's like I might plan uploads, so I don't know, but if that seems too unachievable of having just like automated uploads for a month, then I might just cut it completely. Who knows? Yeah.
Nice. Well, any final thoughts? It's been lovely hosting the Realistic Intentionality podcast. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you for hosting.
Yes,
Thank you for interviewing me. Oh, I know. I have a goal and a wish and intention. I really want to be on someone else's podcast. I've only been on one person's podcast, and that was an interesting one, but not quite my niche. Didn't really quite talk about things I felt passionate about. So I would love to be invited on people's podcasts. That would be a dream.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
You heard it straight from the lovely goddess of this podcast. Invite her on your podcast. She's
Yeah.
awesome. She's a blessing to have.
Yeah, I can do it.
She's a blessing to chat with.
I can be interviewed. I don't just have to be the host.
How did this feel? How did this feel being in the hot seat?
Awesome. I'm so relaxed. I just want to take a little nappy because I'm so sleepy and like content.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have to like feel like the whole weight of the world was on my shoulders for an hour.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a pressure. This is also my first interview, I guess you would say. I think. I don't know.
You've interviewed
I've been on
me
the
before.
podcast. Okay, I have officially interviewed you before.
Yeah, but it
Okay.
just won't get released that
Oh,
one.
right. Yeah, we're going to
Yeah.
redo that. Yeah. Okay, well, awesome. Well, it's been a blast. I love you. You are
I love you
you're
too.
awesome. You're a blessing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Congrats on 1 year of having this platform.
Yes, and thank you so much to the people that have been following and subscribing and liking and rating it 5 stars. I am so grateful for everyone that supports this and supports me and supports Dylan, and because now he is such a integral member of Realistic Intentionality. We're so grateful for you guys, so thankful. Like, you truly are changing lives when you support small time creators, and I promise you, like, I'm not going anywhere, and I only hope for the absolute best for all of our listeners, because everyone deserves to create the life
that
they
you
exist
exist
for.
I thought I was supposed to say that. I was waiting.
I thought you had caught on to us maybe doing it in unison.
Yeah, I did. A little late, but
Yes, because everyone is worthy and everyone is deserving and everyone is capable. And just in those moments of darkness when you don't think that you can do it or that you should quit or that there's no possible way for the things you dream of to be accomplished, please know that there is always a possibility for you to succeed, because you are meant to create the life that you exist for, and you are meant to live happily, and you are meant to feel fulfilled. You just have to let yourself have it. And don't forget you deserve it.
didn't know we were gonna get a little song ending to
Dude,
this episode. Nice.
There could be a really cringe compilation of me singing on my pod, because there's been a few times and it's like horrible every time. I don't sing. Me talking.
We sing all the time. What are you talking about?
We sing like that, where it's just horrible opera singing. Whatever.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us in the Realistic Intentionality podcast. You're great. You're great.
You're great too. You did a
And I'm
great job hosting. We're all great.
Create the life you exist for, man.
Yeah.
Dude,
There you go.
shit.
You got it. Yay.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.